And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Wednesday, March 11th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. A Wednesday morning, we welcome you to our program, and we welcome Bob McDonald here to talk about Cedarstone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Bob, President, CEO, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Had you work out today?
Yes, I did. Susan and I were up bright and early. Well, I shouldn't say it was bright because it wasn't, but it was early.
It's not even bright at 7
I know.
o'clock.
That's right.
But it will be before long as the
Yeah.
sun keeps rising earlier in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, I'll say I do like daylight saving time, and I like it in the winter when a lot of people don't like it because we have to change, and the change, it affects me for about a week, and then I'm accustomed to that.
Right.
But I think we've got it about as good as we can get it because we don't want, this is my opinion, but I don't think we want it to be in the middle of the night when we go to work. It's bad enough with the standard time in December and January. And then in the summer, it suns up at 4 or 5 o'clock or something before I get up sometimes.
Well, it's a beautiful time of year. It's warming up. And as you say, the sun's up longer and comes up earlier, and birds are singing, and so it's just a great time of year.
Got some buttercups making their way to blooming
we do,
already,
don't we? Yes, trees are budding.
What's happening at the bank?
Well, we're very busy. We're getting close to the annual Teacher of the Year banquet. As you know, this will be the 22nd year for the Teacher of the Year banquet, and sponsored by Cedarstone Bank and Wilson County Motors, my dear friend W.P. Bone. And I was told by Debbie, my colleague at the bank, Debbie works real hard on this throughout the year, as does W.P.'s colleague Susan. And but they've been gathering all the plaques from the various schools so that they can put the names of the Teacher of the Year from the various schools. And so there's a lot going on. And Debbie told me, I think it was Monday, that the committee at Cumberland, they have arrived at a winner. So there is a winner. I don't know who it is. I don't want to know until the very last minute, but we need to know at this point. So a plaque can be made with that person's name on it, and a check can be cut with that person's name on it. So we're getting close. We're just a few weeks away, and looking forward to that.
Well, I know you do, and it's something that the two of you kind of came up with, and it's just really bigger and better every year.
Oh, it is. It's so exciting, and the room gets more full each year as the county's growing so much, as you know, and there's usually a new school coming online, and so we started out 22 years ago with, I think, 20 schools, and now we're up to 31, I believe is the number. So it's amazing to see how the schools have grown during that 20-plus year period.
Well, let's talk about the aftermath of the tornado for a minute. I guess it's changed the banking scene a little bit.
Well, it has, because, as you know, community banking is all about people, and it's all about the community. And so when the community has something like that happen, it automatically and naturally impacts the bank, because we get worried about our customers who might have been impacted. And so we continue to monitor that and help as we can, and as we're needed to. And so every day we look for ways to help. And so we are continuing to keep everyone in our thoughts and our prayers, and we look forward to continuing to do our part.
Well, it is a period of recovery right now for those who were affected, and we had a lot of people here, but it could have been worse, and it was worse, really, in Putnam County, especially in the residential area.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard about how it just picked up steam as it went up I-40, and I think they said the winds here were about 50 to 60 miles an hour by the time it got to Putnam County. I believe the report I heard was up to about 175 miles an hour. So it just gained strength.
Well, one of the things we try to remind everybody every week that you can get your loan at Cedarstone. You have money to lend. You also have free checking.
We
which
do.
is a great item, and something is sort of sets you apart, I think, because you've done this from the very beginning when that bank started.
It is. It's very important, Coleman. It is completely free. Free checks, free online banking with bill pay. We have free, we have all the technology that someone may want in terms of mobile deposit and online banking and telephone banking. But if you still want to come in the bank and see us, we're there for you as well. And so we welcome all ways that we can interact with the customers.
You still have the Cedar Stone Cafe.
Yeah.
You still have coffee, and you come in and have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I prefer to have mine here on Wednesday morning out of my...
I know. I appreciate you always having that cup out on Wednesday mornings. And
wear green if I think about it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
today.
That's close enough to green. I mean,
Yeah, and you will notice my Cedar Stone pen.
You got the pen. Yeah, and we appreciate that support, and we appreciate being with you every Wednesday. I think we've been at this now. Coleman, I think we started in like 2008, so that's hard to believe, isn't it? So we've been with you a long time.
That's 12 years.
Yeah, every Wednesday for 12 years. I think we started in April or May of 2008, I think, maybe a little before.
Well, I'm glad you started, but even more, I'm glad you've continued.
Yeah.
And are still here every Wednesday.
Well, we couldn't imagine not being here, so this is very important to us, and everyone here at the station are important to us.
Well, have a good week, and we'll see you again next
Thanks,
Wednesday.
Coleman. Take care.
Bob McDonald, President, CEO, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. 10 minutes after the hour. This is the Wednesday that we feature Cumberland University, and as always, the old reliable Rusty Richardson is here this morning. Come rain, shine, snow, or hail, he is going to be here, and today is no exception. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Glad to have you, of course, and we've got a lot to talk about today. Let me remind everybody that you are the Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs at Cumberland, and been there for a good while. You've got a guest you brought today, and I guess it's time for us to get started.
Very good. Well, I have had a birthday since the last time I was here, so when you talk about old reliable, and I'm kind of taking offense at that. But before I introduce my guest this morning, I want to give a quick update on the tornado and how it impacted Cumberland. Fortunately, we had no damage on the campus whatsoever. There was one piece of aluminum siding that was up high in one tree. We have no idea where it flew in from, but that was literally the only visible damage we could find on the campus. Of course, some of our faculty and staff and students were not so lucky. Fortunately, it was spring break for us, so very few students were on campus, so they were spared that experience. But of course, many people have heard about Woody Hunt and his house taking a direct hit. I talked to Woody late yesterday afternoon. His house has been declared a total loss. He and his wife were fine. They survived it without a scratch. They're in an apartment for about a year while they rebuild. But he wishes everyone well and thanks everyone for their thoughts and prayers during that. But he's going to come out fine with this.
Are they going to rebuild the same place?
He didn't tell me that, so I don't know whether they're going to rebuild the same place or not. But he was just so overwhelmed by the outpouring of support. That Tuesday, the number of players that came out, coaches that came out, strangers that came out to help clear the rubble and damage, like so many people experience. Lebanon and this part of Tennessee has really shown what a heart they have by helping the total strangers sometimes.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
We did have, again, we do have some people that were impacted more so than others. One of our faculty members, her niece was the 4-year-old that was killed over in Putnam County. So our hearts and thoughts go out to that family and all the families there that were damaged. As our students have come back from spring break, many of them have asked, what can we do to help? So this Friday, we actually have a CU service day working in conjunction with the Lebanon Police Department. We've got 2 different shifts of students going out, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, to wherever the police tell them to go to help clean up, because there's still so much to clean up in so many places. So we're very proud of our students stepping up and jumping to that call as well.
Well, I'm sure a big percentage of them have volunteered, and you got more there than you've ever had, so it's going to be a good number.
There will be a lot of volunteers, and hopefully the weather will cooperate.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to on Friday. Tomorrow looks pretty wet, but
Yeah, right.
Friday looks pretty good. So, having said all that, I do want to introduce my guest. I have with me this morning Leanne Blevins, who's the Director of Career Services and Internships.
Well, good morning. Welcome
morning.
to our program. It's
Thank
nice
you.
to see you today. And tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been at Cumberland and this kind of thing.
Well, I started at Cumberland in mid-August, so I've been there about 6 months, a little over 6 months now, and I'm really enjoying being on campus. My career has mostly been in higher education. I had 5 years that I took off and stayed home with kids and worked around their schedules and so forth. But when this opportunity came up, I was excited to even apply for it and thrilled that I got the opportunity to work with students again
Well,
because
when-
I love being on a campus.
When
So-
you come to Lebanon, we always got to know, are you from around here?
Well, I was born and raised in Gallatin,
Okay.
so almost. I was raised right around the Gallatin Marina. We lived around the cove from the Gallatin Marina, so I was closer than most people in Gallatin to Lebanon and came over quite a bit when I was young. And, I tell people the driver's cakes at Claiborne's. My dad used to stop and get those for me, so that was always something special to come back over here and get one occasionally. So when they started those up again, I felt like I was home again in Lebanon. So my husband and I've lived here for 15 years. He grew up in Mount Juliet. So.
Well, take just a minute or less and tell us exactly what you're doing, your maybe job description, responsibilities, and then we'll go to a break here.
Okay. In career services, we work with students to help them get ready for employment, doing the final touches on their education, tipping that off with resumes and interviewing preparation. We work with students to complete internships. About half of our programs require internships. And so we work with the students to find locations in the community to complete internships so that they have experience when they leave Cumberland. They already have some experience working in the real world with their majors.
Yeah, I take it that's very important.
It is. We
Yeah.
think so.
Okay, we'll take a break right here. I'll reintroduce my guest from Cumberland when we come back. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. We want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota and Rental Redmax. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic volume really pick up in the last few minutes out here on 24, especially coming in from the Jolton area there on 24 up by OHB. There's a few wrecks out here. Clifton Avenue at 28th was blocking the intersection. Bell Road at I-24 is over to the side, but it is heavy now coming in from Rutherford County on 24 westbound passing Bell Road. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken is the original hot chicken in Middle Tennessee. Check it out, 5814 Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Caring for a loved one is as natural as the weather, but just like the weather, one moment it's sunny and the next you find yourself in the middle of a storm. So when it came time to take care of my dad, I knew I needed help, a reprieve from the storm, so to speak. That's when I found the Pavilion Senior Living. They have expertise and experience to weather the storms in your loved one's life. And now I can rest easy. Thank you, Pavilion Senior Living. You should visit thepavilionseniorliving.com to find out more.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company here on this Wednesday morning. We thank you for joining us. And as usual, from Cumberland University, we have Rusty Richardson, who's Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs. Love these long titles. We have Leanne Blevins this morning. Leanne is Director of Career Services and Internships. And we were just talking here how important, really, during the break, how important it is to maybe to be an intern, to have a little experience, to know about what you're asking
Absolutely.
an employer to hire you for.
Absolutely. As we were talking about, when students leave college, if they've never worked in the area that they've majored in and that they want to make their career, they're at a disadvantage when they're interviewing for another position or for a position because they don't have that experience. Our students, most of our students have those experiences. Not all of our majors require that, but we encourage them all to do something. But some of our majors require that they complete an internship before they graduate. It's my understanding that Dr. Stone, when he was dean in the business department, started that process, and we've carried that forward and expanded it. And it really does give our students a chance to see the real world, so to speak, as far as the work world goes. They get some great experience. We're always looking for new opportunities for them in the community with local businesses.
Well, I would think that especially in a time where we've had businesses looking for workers, that they would welcome somebody to come and intern. It might not be exactly like hiring a new employee, but at least you get somebody there to help you and a learning experience, of course, for the student.
Right. Most of the places that our students have approached have been very open to hiring someone. We get a lot of calls from employers in town and welcome even more when they have positions open. We advertise those through our office to our students.
Well, you got a little employment agency right there.
We do. We really do. We really do. In fact, we have we call it a career networking fair coming up March 24th, and we're looking for employers to come on campus to that career fair and meet our students. And so anyone that's interested in that can certainly contact me to make sure that we have a spot for you.
Well,
So-
one more thing. Most of the time, I take it that the internship, whatever they're going to be doing, is going to be related to what they're studying and what their degree is all about.
Right.
It's not just like finding a job for somebody to help them get through college. This is more than that, right?
Right. It really is. We want to make sure that the location that they're at is going to be teaching them things that are related to their major, and that they can take out into the workforce later on. And a lot of times those places hire someone after they've completed their degree because they've been so impressed with them. Now, if a student finds a place to work that's related to their career major, and they're working there before they start their internship, because they have to be juniors or seniors before they can complete an internship and get credit for it. If their employer will let them learn some additional things for that internship while they're employed there, then we encourage them to go ahead and continue working where they're at. So we're not asking people to uproot themselves if they've already been blessed enough to find something that works.
Well, let me ask, Judge, maybe I should know this, and I'm not sure. If you are an intern, do you get a paycheck?
You can. It's really
varies?
It varies.
Okay.
Some places, some majors students go into an area that finding a lot of opportunities are difficult, but we certainly work with them. And occasionally we find a place that doesn't have the funds, especially if they go to work maybe for a government office. And so,
Or a radio station?
right, might be, exactly. But if they really want the experience, it's more valuable than the paycheck.
Right.
So we encourage them to do that if they can. If they find a place that will pay them, then that's just extra bonus.
Right.
That's even better.
That's icing on the cake.
Right. It really is. Because generally they work about 15 hours a week while they're doing their internship.
Okay. Anything else we need to discuss about this? I think you have some other things, Rusty, to talk about.
Well, I would simply add, with the Chamber of Commerce, with the city and county government, The whole emphasis right now is on workforce development, and all this ties directly into that. Both Leanne and I attend those meetings and participate in those conversations because the employers that may be moving into this area, talking about the really big employers, that's the number one question. Who are our workers going to be? Where are we going to find the people to do the jobs we need? So all of this goes hand in hand. So it's so important for our entire area in the economy.
Well, hopefully we have some people at the Cumberland. The students are eager to learn, eager to work, wanting to advance. We hear stories sometimes about maybe they're not so the average young person may not be as energetic as they were back in our day, Rusty. I hear that sometimes, but hopefully the training they're getting at Cumberland has pointed them in the right direction.
I think if our local employers would meet our students, I think they'd find that. I'm really impressed with the students that we have at Cumberland. They give me hope because I'm not too far behind you there on that experience, and I really am impressed with our students. They're
Well,
eager to learn, eager to gain that experience and build their life.
Well, Leanne, it's nice to have you with us today.
Thank you.
We may not be through, but I know Rusty's got a few other things to bring to mind.
Yes, the biggest thing, the next big thing coming up is just a week from tomorrow, on March the 19th, we're going to be celebrating our annual Founders Day. This is a new tradition that Paul Stum started a year ago. And this year, we're very delighted. We've got a special guest speaker that's attending, and that's Senator Marsha Blackburn.
Oh, nice.
And this is an open ceremony, open celebration to the public, so anyone that wants to come and hear what Senator Blackburn has to say is welcome to attend. It's at 2 o'clock on March the 19th in Baird Chapel.
I say nice, but I mean, when you get somebody of the stature of a United States senator and here in our own state to come and speak at your Founders Day, that's a pretty big thing.
It's a very big deal. We're delighted that she agreed to do that. The last time she was in that room was actually during the debate during that last election cycle,
Right.
where she was debating the Democratic candidate, Phil Bredesen. So we're delighted to have her back. The purpose of Founders Day is really to celebrate our history, to recognize we have 16 different honor societies on campus, and they'll be honored during that ceremony. And then also, we're combining that with a reception for scholarship recipients, of which we have hundreds, if not thousands, and the scholarship donors, the donors that have created those scholarships, giving them a chance, and because they usually don't have a chance to meet face to face. And it's so meaningful for the students to find out, oh, I'm the recipient of the Coleman Walker Scholarship, for example. We can talk about that one later.
Yeah, much later, probably.
But a chance for the donors to see how their dollars are being put to use. So we're very excited about that. It's going to be a wonderful celebration. And again, delighted that Senator Blackburn is going to be there. And again, encourage anyone in the community that wants to come out and join us to come, and we'd love to have them on campus.
All right. What else you got?
The next thing, when we were here last month, we had people going to the Haiti trip. That trip was last week. They made it to Haiti safely, and they made it back from Haiti safely. They made it back Sunday night. We have a dozen or so very exhausted student and faculty members. It was a full week for them, and just like we expected, they're saying it changed their lives. So just a quick follow-up report on that. We're glad they made it back safe and sound. Of course, with all the travel restrictions now going in place, we were a little concerned about that. But
no doubt, a great trip for them, but a great time. They learned a lot. They're back safe and sound, so now it's back to normal.
Now it's back to normal. We're delighted to have them back. The other thing I wanted to touch on just briefly, because the coronavirus is so much in the news, and every hour we seem to get an update on that. Just want to reassure people at Cumberland we're taking that very seriously. Dr. Stum has created a task force specifically to monitor that and make preparations. No one knows for sure how it's going to hit, when it's going to hit, how bad it will be. Fortunately for our student population, they're pretty secure. It's not one of the high-risk groups by any means. Mostly it's impacting older people. not that college age, or if they do get it, they make it through it very, very easily, it seems like, all the reports we're getting. But we are making contingency plans. What happens if and when we have someone diagnosed on campus with that? How do we isolate people? How do we take care of them? Some schools have already reported shutting down for a period. Vanderbilt and Belmont both made those announcements yesterday. We're looking at those situations, but we think that would be premature at this point. But we monitor it on literally a daily and hourly basis at this point because it is developing so quickly.
So you're monitoring it very closely and on top of it, but so far, really, you haven't had to make any significant changes or any?
No significant changes. Some of the questions are, if we do have to shut down temporarily, how do we continue to offer courses online that are currently being offered on ground? Going through scenarios like that, making sure we can still deliver our product, which are the classes, to the students that they paid for. So lots of discussions going on, and again, we're watching that very, very closely.
Okay, you got some upcoming events you would need to do in about 15 seconds here.
Okay. The ones we've mentioned before, Phoenix Ball on June 6th. The actual invitations are scheduled to go out to that next week, but we've already sold about half the tickets, and the invitations haven't gone yet. Symphony on the Lawn on June 24th, and then the Patrons Party to round out the summer on July 11th.
All right, we thank you all for being with us today. And Leanne?
Yes, sir.
Leanne Blevins, Director of Career Services and Internships. Thanks for being with us. If somebody has
Thank
a
you for
question
having
for
us.
you, just call Cumberland and they'll direct them to you.
Yes, they can
Okay.
call or they can find
All
me
right.
on the website.
And Rusty Richardson, always a pleasure to have you. Thanks for all you do.
Thanks, Coleman.
That is it
So
for part one of Cumberland, Coleman and Company here on a Wednesday. Stay with us for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota and Rental Red Max. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's heavy out here, 65 southbound, trying to get past Trinity Lane. Working your way down from the north, coming in past the airport. That's heavy also through Hermitage, Donaldson. Pretty foggy out here in certain areas. OHB, it's going to be in front of that Shell station in Brentwood. They're working that accident. Harding Place at Tampa Drive. That's a 2-car wreck in South Nashville. Princess Hot Chicken is the original hot chicken in Middle Tennessee. Check it out, 5814 Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
This is Bob McDonough with Cedarstone Bank. We know there are times when financial circumstances can be complicated for families and businesses, but we do not believe the solutions need to be. That's why for 15 years we've been delivering simple banking to our customers while still offering all services and products. We're thankful for our customers and the communities that we serve. If you don't bank with us, it would be our pleasure to visit with you and talk about how simple banking is simply better.
Cedarstone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
There is a low chance of rain today, but most of us will stay dry. Temperatures this afternoon will top out in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. For your Thursday, more scattered showers and storms are in the forecast. Some storms could be on the strong side Thursday evening, so stay weather aware. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two here on a Wednesday morning. I want to welcome Philip Etherly to talk about Absolute Rental and Supply. And Philip, good morning again.
Morning, Coleman.
I just remarked to you as you walked in the room, I bet you've been busy. And you said yes.
Yes, we've been very blessed going on, and trying to, with all this storm damage, there's been a lot of needs, and so we've been trying to fulfill everybody's needs.
Are you out of anything?
We were out of excavators this past a couple times during the week, and so just some minor stuff. But we've been able to take care of everybody.
Well, you might on some of the items that are very popular or very needed, you might have to wait a little longer.
Well, it's like I was just thinking, like the generators and light towers that we have. Of course, there was a big rush on those. I mean, the morning of the storm, before 7 o'clock, I had people in the driveway looking for generators. But then, as Middle Tennessee Electric got the power up more and more, the generators started coming back fairly quickly. So, but things like that is very kind of a rush item.
Well, you don't wish anybody any harm, and you hate it when people, because of a storm and damage like this, have to even call on you. But it's good to have somebody there to provide what is needed, and that's part of your job.
Exactly. It really was a good thing. Even we had to fire up a generator for our computers and all to be able to run contracts and do that. So, it was. I was very happy to be able to there and be able to serve people. And a lot of people were just trying to keep their food in their refrigerator or freezers from thawing out. So. It was very rewarding to be able to take care of that.
Well, let me remind everybody, of course, Absolute Rental Supplies located at 1325 West Main. And Philip started this business 18 years ago.
Yep.
And he wants everybody to remember that phone number, which is an easy one, 443-RENT, R-E-N-T, 615-443-RENT.
That's
now,
right.
What else you got for us?
Well, just keep everybody in mind with, if you're still needing some debris cleanup, so forth, or we have chainsaws, we have pole saws, we have aerial lifts to get you up in the air to help do that. But, if you had any water damage, we have, of course, dehumidifiers and carpet fans and those types of things to take care of that as well. And so just, like I say, it's wide open. Spring is here. We were hoping spring is here. No more cold snaps. But, get ready to spruce up your landscapes. Of course, we have all the mulching, the seeds, fertilizers.
What about the pre-emergent? Is it still okay, or is it a little late?
It's getting, as warm as it is, it's getting a little bit late. We're still selling pre-emergent. People are still getting it down. And so it will help. Even preventing some weeds from coming up. But, we've had a very warm spring, and I'd say our ground temperature is right at the borderline right now. So,
but not only do you have all these things we talk about, but you have people who are knowledgeable who can disseminate that information and instruction. And a lot of times, I think people do come to you, and especially as far as their lawn, landscape, this kind of thing, to get advice, to know exactly how to do it.
We really do. I know we have a list, almost an annual calendar of what the things to do to your lawn at what time of the year to do it. And it really helps as a lawn program to get your turf in really A1 shape. So, but I did want to mention also, we always talk about our delivery and pickup. That's a huge asset to Absolute Rental. If you don't have the proper size vehicle to tow the equipment, we can bring it out as soon as you're done. You just call us and we'll come pick it up.
Well, that's a good thing in a lot of ways, really. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. There's so many of us who don't have the means to if it's a fairly large piece of equipment, you may not have anything at all to call that in.
Exactly, and that's a huge part. And even smaller things. I mean, we deliver 40-foot extension ladders and stuff, so forth like that, because a lot of people don't have something that could even haul that. And so it doesn't matter, large equipment for sure, but even some of the smaller stuff, it's just more convenient.
All right. If it'll help your customer, you're probably going to do it.
That's right. That's right. That's what we try to do.
One other thing we might mention before you leave, you do have a website, www.absoluterental.com. Absoluterental.com. That's what to remember. And pretty much a catalog of everything you have there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got an entire inventory in there. It's got a keyword search in there. If you're looking for a skid steer, you just type in skid steer and it will pull up all the skid steers that we have, the different models. It has the specs, the sizes on them, and also the rental rates. I think that's huge to go ahead and have the rental rates in there. I don't like this stuff where you go to the trouble of looking it up and then you have to call somebody to find out what it costs. So, we have our prices right there.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. The only thing you can't do is actually rent it online.
Right.
And that's there's a good reason for that.
There is. We ask people to call and make reservations because the equipment is going in and out so fast all the time. We want to make sure we have it when you need it.
Yeah, I mean, somebody might need it a little bit longer, or they might bring it back sooner. I can understand why you wouldn't even. That would be a problem in itself. just to have that
yeah, to
exactly
keep up.
what's available at what time.
Exactly.
But you see something you like the rental price, you want it, you call 615-443-RENT and set up a time to come get it.
That's right.
Or have it delivered.
Correct.
See you next Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
All right. Philip Edley, that's it for Absolute Rental and Supply here on a Wednesday. We're about 22 before the hour. And our second half this morning is going to be about the Boy Scouts of America. And I want to introduce Rick Smith first. Get up close to the mic, Rick.
Good morning, Coleman.
Welcome to our program. I asked you earlier, how is retirement going? Because you have retired from your banking career, I believe.
Correct. But between scouts and baseball and church and park design for the city, I'm staying about as busy, if not busier, than what I was when I was actually working. The problem is I ain't making no money doing this.
We want to welcome Vance Lackey this morning, who has come with Rick. Vance is the Deputy Scout Executive. And good morning and welcome to our program.
Good morning, Coleman. Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about you, because I don't recall you being out here. Have you been on our program before?
I have not. This is my first time.
Right. Where you call home?
Well, I'm from Columbia, South Carolina originally, and I moved here about 5 years ago. I've worked for the Boy Scouts for over 26 years in 4 different councils, and it's been a great opportunity, and I love providing the program to the youth of our communities that I've served.
You actually live in Wilson County?
I do. I live in Mount Juliet. I'm about a mile from West Wilson School, where the tornado went through, so it was a very interesting morning for me.
Well, nearly everybody that I've had on since we weren't on the air last Tuesday, but from last Wednesday on, I've asked, tell us your story. When the storm came, did you have any damage?
I did not. My family and I were safe. It was really kind of strange. My daughter, because school was out they closed the schools for the week to kind of get the sickness out of the schools. Mm-hmm. We had 2 girls spend the night. So about whatever time it was, the 3 girls are knocking on our bedroom door going, get up, get up, get up. It's time to hide. And so my son and I watched, got everybody in the small closet. But I mean, we watched the wind come in, but it was only about a mile from my house, damaged that school. And none of the girls that were there, they all go to Mount Juliet Middle School, so it didn't affect them. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately for them, they only have half days the rest of the year, and they're pretty happy about that because West Wilson Middle School is going to serve the other half of the day at the same school. So she was pretty happy when I got home and found out she only had to go half days the rest of the year.
Well, glad you didn't sustain any damage.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
What about you, Rick?
We were blessed. We had absolutely no problems. I have a huge elm tree in the front yard, and it didn't even lose hardly any limbs off of it. It's an old tree. It's probably 100 years old. So, I mean, we watched the storm come through. You could hear it, obviously. We were in the bathroom at the time. Because I live on the corner of Oak and West Spring, and right across the street from me, there's this thing called WEMA, and WEMA has this huge tower, and on top of that tower, they have a siren. Mm-hmm. So about 1 o'clock in the morning, we didn't have to think about getting up because it blasted us out of the bed. It was so loud. But it was obvious that there was problems coming through. So it was, but we were up watching it and watching the TV at the same time until we lost all the power. And then from that point on, it was another matter. But we had. We got a few properties around town. We had no problems whatsoever with anything. We're just lucky and blessed.
Yeah. Well, you're here to talk about Boy Scouts this morning, and you usually have some sort of dinner banquet. Yeah. You got another one of those?
We got another one of those coming up. It's April 8th. Luckily, we're having it at the mill this year. Great facility. The owner of the mill is an Eagle Scout and was able to help us out there. So that was a huge help. But we're really blessed this year. We've been able to procure the former ambassador to Japan, Bill Haggerty, as our keynote speaker. So we've been excited to say the least about that. But our event is our main fundraiser. We've got. I'm the chairman of the Walton Trail District, which covers 4 counties, parts of Wilson, Macon, Smith, and Trousdale County. Mm-hmm. The time you get through all 4, you always forget one of them. And this
Trousdale, Macon, Smith, and part of Wilson.
Good job.
Okay.
And this is the kickoff for our fundraiser. We have a luncheon or breakfast at each one of these locations, whether it be Lebanon, Hartsville, Lafayette, or Carthage. So it's our fundraiser. It's our major fundraiser, and all the money we raise, stays here in our council, Middle Tennessee Council, which covers, I think, 27 districts, if I'm not mistaken?
It's 17 districts in
17?
34 counties.
34 counties, yeah. Big. And not only are we big, but we're the fastest growing county. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
You're
we're
right.
the fastest growing council in the United States right now.
Yep. We've had
one-
28% membership growth over the past 4 years, so we're very proud of that.
And one of only 3 counties in the 3 councils in the U.S. that's raised over $3 million in funds for the last 3 years, over the last couple of years during our fundraisers. So we've been blessed, to say the least.
And is that an invitation type?
It's not an invitation; it's a come if you want to. But keep in mind that it's a pledge luncheon. So if you come to our luncheon, we'd like for you to put your hand in your back pocket and pull out a check or something, a credit card or whatever it happens to be at the
All
moment.
right, it's going to be at the mill, and what's the date again?
April 8th. It's a luncheon, so it's 11:30 to 1.
And what day of the week is that?
That is a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Wednesday, April the 8th.
Wednesday, April 8th.
Okay.
We're really looking forward to it. I mean, having Ambassador Haggerty come is a huge honor. He's an Eagle Scout. He's from Gallatin. A lot of people don't realize that, but he's a homegrown boy. He grew up in Gallatin. And like I said, he is an Eagle Scout. So it's a great combination. Somebody that's done well. And obviously, as a former ambassador to Japan, that's a great honor. So we're really, really excited about him coming.
Well, Vance, we need to go to a break here in about a minute, but what's your primary function? What do you do?
We make sure that every scout, every youth in the community gets the opportunity to join scouting. We have about 30 staff members throughout the Middle Tennessee Council that help serve the over 20,000 youth we serve and 6,000 registered volunteers. My main job is to make sure our staff is serving the best quality program to those youth and those leaders as we can, and make sure the families are having a sustainable program. One of the other things we have in this community that's very blessed is we have a Boxville Scout Reservation out on 109. That is our camp. That is our focus point. We have about 8,000 youth go through there every summer, and we're glad to have them come out here and be a part of the community, and we're glad that we can help serve Wilson County with our camp and anything we do.
All right, with that, we'll take our break right here, and we'll talk more about the Boy Scouts after we go to a break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, get $50 off, $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still very busy out here on 40 coming in Wilson County there into Hermitage. Watch for some rolling roadblocks throughout the day up and down sections of I-40 out in Wilson County. Harding Place at Tampa Drive, they reckon it's clearing stages. Heavy traffic, but it's moving. 65 up through Williamson County from Franklin into the Brentwood area. Prince's Hot Chicken is the original hot chicken in Middle Tennessee. It's worth that drive to 5814 Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Cumberland University Baseball is live this season on WANT and WCOR. Tune in for all of the home games and all of the Mid-South Conference matchups with Coach Woody Hunt's 3-time champion Cumberland Phoenix baseball team. Mitch Walters brings you all of the action on WANT FM 98.9 and WCOR AM 1490. For a complete schedule, visit GoCumberlandAthletics.com. It's live Cumberland University Baseball on WANT and WCOR.
Introducing Radius, the next great zero-radius turn mower from Exmark. Available now for as little as $4,999 with attractive financing offers too. With Exmark, you'll get a great-looking professional quality cut in less time, every time. From the mowers Landscape Pros trust 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand. See your local Exmark dealer for complete pricing and finance details and schedule a free demo today. Stop by Absolute Kubota at 1325 West Main Street in Lebanon or call 615-449-6171.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and my thanks to Rick Smith for making his presence here this morning, as well as Vance Lackey. Vance is Deputy Scout Executive for the Middle Tennessee Council of Boy Scouts. Where do you call home?
I call home right now. I live in Mount Juliet, and I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina.
Right. Yeah, I remember now. I forgot you did say Mount Juliet earlier. I made a mental note, but it didn't stay with me.
That happens.
I want to get a little controversy out of the way here. There's there has been some controversial issues with the Boy Scouts. It's something y'all have had to face. How has that been here, say in Middle Tennessee and in this particular area?
I would say it's not been that big a deal. I mean, we continue to provide, like I told you earlier, we're the fastest growing council in the country. So we know our families, our communities still want the quality program that scouting has to offer. We've had some adversity and some people question what we're doing. Ultimately, what scouting has become is a program for all family members. And we've been able to provide programs now for girls, for boys, ages kindergarten through 20 years of age. So we're an opportunity for a one-stop shop for the family. Come in, drop your kids off, or participate. We love to have the leaders participate. It helps make the program grow. So scouting has become a one-stop shop for all families.
Well, what are the girls? Well, of course, we've had the Girl Scouts, as we all know, and there's been some controversy, I guess, regarding that. But are girls becoming scouts with you?
Oh, yes. We have girls at every age, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, venturing and exploring. So we've had girls in exploring for many years doing career-based programs. So we've had a venturing program, which is 14 to 20 years of age, boys and girls doing that program. Now we have offered the opportunity for them to participate in our traditional program of Cub Scout packs and Boy Scout Scout troops. And so, yes, but in those programs, they're still separate. Girls have their own dens. In the Cub Scouts and in the Scout program, that there's a girl troop and a boy troop. Mm-hmm. So and they do the same program, just not together.
Okay. Yeah. Does this seem to be working well?
It seems to be fine. I mean, the families really enjoy it because most of the families that are participating right now have siblings in the traditional Boy Scout programs, and now they've just been able to offer that same quality program that we've offered for years to the boys, to their daughters and their girls. So they've really been appreciative of what we've been able to offer them.
Well, I think in the past you've been able to do quite a bit on your fundraising day, and that's your big fundraiser for the year, right?
That is the fundraiser for the year. Yes.
And so again, for those who might not have been listening earlier, it's April the 8th, which is a Wednesday, I believe we said. Wednesday, April 8th at the Mill, and anybody that wants to come is invited to this luncheon. But if you come, you're expected to bring your pocketbook, as you said.
That's the best way to put it. And you were talking about girls. We've already got two girl troops in the area in Walton Show District. We've got one in Lebanon, and which meets at Western United Methodist Church, and we've got one in Gordonsville. So we're seeing a lot of that. And this is my, I think, 27th year in Scouts. And one of the things I saw years and years ago, especially with Cub Scouts, when we have a family outing and bring those little kids in, we always had the girls coming, but they didn't have anything to do because they were just part, you can't leave part of your family at home. You can't leave a 4-year-old girl at home. So here was an opportunity when they took this over to bring these into the family. And it's made a huge difference, because especially with the Cub Scouts, because that was really a family-oriented thing. So I was tickled to death to see this happen.
So really, then this hasn't been a detriment.
No. It's definitely a huge asset. And one of the things people got to realize, you're talking about some controversies a while ago. All of the money we raise stay here. We are Middle Tennessee Council. We own Boxwell. We own Grimes Canoe Base. We own 4 big properties, and they're ours. We don't. They belong to us. We maintain them. We've been operating the Black for how many years now?
A number of 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah. So we're strong and getting stronger every day.
Well, what all is offered now? You mentioned Boxwell, and I remember when that property was being secured, the trees being cut and all that. In fact, I was down there one time with a saw and helped a guy who had, I guess, contracted to do some of the work. One day was all I could stand.
We understand, but no, we have 4 camp properties. One of them's called the Grimes Canoe Base. It's in the west side of the council, and that's where you can go canoeing. You put in upstream and you canoe back to our base, and we have some sites along the way. We also have the old Boxwell Scout Reservation, which is Rock Island or Parish Reservation. We still own that property. It's more primitive now. We have a lot of units go out there and use that just for their pop-up camping and then put it down and come home. And about 10 years ago, we acquired a piece of property up in the plateau called Latimer Scout Reservation. It's one of our newest camps throughout the country. It's tent camping, and we have Jack and Jill bathroom type dormitories for people that want to use it on the weekends, for people who don't enjoy quite the tent camping but want to be out in the wilderness. Mm-hmm. And it's a very good property up there. So we have and then Boxville. So those are our 4 camps. We can offer any kind of opportunity for any youth groups, any leadership trainings, anything like that at any of our properties, and we'd love to have anybody come out and use our properties.
What about participation? We're growing area here.
That's right.
You have as many Boy Scouts today as we had 10 years ago?
We do. Right now, we had a little bit of a lull about 4 or 5 years ago, but like I said, Rick said a few minutes ago, we're the fastest growing council in the country. We've seen 28% membership growth over the past 4 years. We know the youth want this program. The good thing for us, we bring them in, tell them you're going to have a lot of fun. We kind of trick them into teaching some leadership skills, and they don't realize it. In the end, they become quality leaders of our community. So that's what scouting's been doing for years.
Well, one of the things I have noticed, it just sort of sticks out. Maybe it's where I've been or whatever, but I've seen so many people wanting to be an Eagle Scout. So many of these scouts coming up with a project to be an Eagle Scout, and that seems to kind of be the ultimate thing for those who get into scouting and maybe a long range goal.
Well, I will tell you, and first of all, my son's an Eagle Scout. Got it about 15 months ago. We're very proud of that. But it is, what it tells an employer down the road is this young person is able to put some objectives in front of them and earn and build a project, work the project and develop a plan. And then when they're finished with that project, they do it at a community organization. They really just donate that to the community, whether it's benches at a church, whether it's a park, whether it's, collecting books and giving the books away. The idea is they plan and organize a project, and when they're finished, that project becomes the ownership of that organization that receives that benefit. I will tell you, the Middle Tennessee Council has been blessed. We average about at least 7% of our scouts earn the rank of Eagle Scout. Not everybody can do this. It's not easy. Nationally, we see it's about 4%. So we're almost doubling the national average by the amount of Eagle Scouts we put through the program.
7% of those who become Boy Scouts finally become an Eagle Scout.
Right. That's correct. And here in Middle Tennessee.
That's pretty good.
It is.
Yeah, I got mine in 1970s, so it's been a while since I
What
got
was
Rick.
What was your project?
I was going to tell you what my project was because it's created a little controversy through the years. This was the mid-'60s. We had an erosion control problem out on Highway 109, which is where Boxville was located. So part of my project, we did several of them, but part of my project was erosion control on some of these red clay hills out there. And so we had this new plant that was coming around at that time that we were told it would be a great as far as erosion control, because not only would hold the land in place, but it would help cattle and things like this because they fed off of it. It's called kudzu. You may have heard of this. So we were one of the first ones to plant kudzu around 109. If you go out there now, our little project, John, it just got wiped out not too long ago, but you can still see remnants of our project all over the 109 Gallatin area. So it's been a very well-lasting project, and I'm sure it's done a lot as far as erosion control.
Well, I remember the kudzu, yes. Well, it's been I guess that was pretty much the ultimate for you as far as Boy Scouts.
Oh yeah, I mean I was almost 18 years old. My mom, bless her, she was my driving impetus to get my Eagle. It was she was going, you've got this life, Scout, and you're X number of things away from getting it. You better get your butt up and get it done, or I'm gonna really wear you out. I was 17 years old. But she was adamant that I get that, and I did. I finished it right before I turned 18.
You got a similar story?
Oh, I did not get my Eagle Scout. I played a lot of sports when I was growing up. Okay. So basketball, I wasn't one of the 4% that made it, but I made sure my son had that opportunity.
What'd your son do quickly here?
There was a park in Mount Druitt they just built, Ethan Page Park, and he put in 5 benches, 4 picnic tables, and built this little rope wall in front of it to keep traffic from cutting through there. So spent a whole day Saturday, but we enjoyed it.
I think y'all do get a lot of mileage out of your Eagle Scouts, and rightly so.
We do, and so does the community. The community benefits more than people realize, because I tell people scouting's a great almost the best kept secret. We meet in the basement of a church, or we go camp in the woods. Sometimes you don't see us on the side of the road, but I can tell you, scouting's alive and well in this council in Middle Tennessee and in Wilson County.
Yeah.
All right. We're including, at what age do you start?
We start at kindergarten now, so you can join scouting at kindergarten, which is 5, and go through the age of 18.
Okay, 5 through 18, boys and girls?
Yes, sir.
You have girls who can continue, that they can go to 18 as well?
They can go to
Yes, sir.
18.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
actually, they can go a bit farther than that.
We can go to 20 if you're a venturing scout, which is kind of the old exploring, but it's called exploring. It's the outdoor program so it's co-ed outdoor venturing.
All right, two things. We'll close out reminding again everybody about the fundraiser. But before that, if people want more information, I guess you can go to a website and secure some. But as far as local information is concerned, what's a good way?
Well, the best way is to go to our council website and direct you to the area because we have it by design. But it's MTCBSA, Middle Tennessee Council BSA, mtcbsa.org.
And then I guess there'd even be some phone numbers there.
It is. It's on the bottom, just like a regular website. We've made it customer friendly. It's 615-364-9724. To remember that.
Everybody got that.
Everybody's got so many phone numbers.
All right.
Or you can just call me, Rick Smith.
Call Rick. Rick. April the 8th, the big fundraiser.
Big fundraiser, April 8th at the mill. Ambassador Haggerty. Looking forward to it. Hope to have a big turnout. We're excited. Our goal is to raise $75,000. We'll see what happens. We've got a lot of it raised already, so we got a good start on it. But we're really looking forward to it. It ought to be a great event.
Did you reach your goal last year?
Yes.
So
we haven't missed it in 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it sounds like scouting is alive and well here, at least in Middle Tennessee.
It's gung ho right here. So we're tickled to death. Hope to see it just get stronger. And by the way, this is our 100th year of scouting in Middle Tennessee Council.
We turned 100 years old on March 1st, so we're very proud of that.
And we've got a huge jamboree coming up at the Wilson County Fair in this October. Yeah,
about 6,000 or 7,000 people will be spending the night at Wilson County Fairgrounds.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we can, let's do a program about that.
Absolutely.
When it gets closer to that time.
Absolutely.
Keep me in mind, because I might forget. Vance Lackey, the Deputy Scout Executive, along with Rick Smith here this morning. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for having us.
That's going to do it for a Wednesday. Join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.